Hello? I'm back. I'm back, dude. I'm back. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what everyone's going to say. 5090, fucking i9, blah, blah. I don't know what's going on, bro. It was fine this last week. There must be something going on, man. I need to look into it. I need to look into it. I need to look into it, dude. I should have listened. I should have listened to you. I was foolish. My hubris is backfiring tremendously. Awful stuff. Awful stuff. Yeah, I just need to do like a full update all the stuff. Dude, it is like dude, it's like the fucking gypsies in Snatch walking off the lot and the wheel falls off the car.
You get a sense of the enormity of what is actually happening, the transition of power. The 49th Prime Minister to be leading the United Kingdom. And how important do you think that relationship is, given the kind of frenetic pace of Westminster between the monarch and the Prime Minister?
Whenever the Prime Minister of the day spends time at Buckingham Palace with the King, there is a sort of constitutional pause to the melee of politics. And of course, very soon, the new Prime Minister will step into that melee and be responsible for every decision within it. And the nation will watch, it will argue, it will discuss. But when he returns weekly to see the King, it will be into that place of constitutional pause. That
yeah, honestly, it's this guy that's done stuff for me before, and it's always been a good job. And I thought I'd give him the streaming PC build. Now it's got all these problems. I'm like, what the fuck? I should have just stick to the company I used before, man. I regret not sticking to the company I used before. I should have just stuck with them, because that other PC's great. It's worked great for years. But I'll go and speak to him, and I'll say, look, what's going on here, man? What's going on here, buddy? What's going on? Well, no, because I thought, you know, he seems like a nice guy, and he's done good stuff before, so I'll give him the build. To be honest with you, it might not even be his fault. Maybe there's some setting I need to update or something like that. No, he's not Indian. He's white. He's white. He's white. He's white. He's white. No, 5090 is not necessary, man. It's not the graphics card. I highly doubt it's the graphics card. I highly doubt the graphics card is at fault. It's probably a CPU issue or some other issue. I don't know, man. I'll figure it out. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. It's the house. Yeah, he built the whole thing. Yeah. But I'll do some. I'll look it up and I'll do some tests and stuff and figure it out. Yeah. The problem is I can do that tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow is a great time to do that. The problem is that I'd rather just go live than do anything, to be honest. I'd rather, I know it doesn't seem like that sometimes, but I'd rather just go live and, you know, whatever. But now I'm like, fuck, I probably do need to just sort this out. But I don't know, it's just this little thing. It keeps saying, run into a problem, need to reset. Run into a problem, need to reset.
Returns. And a reminder, of course, that he is the King's Prime Minister. It was necessary when Robert Walpole was First Lord of the Treasury that he should advise King George I.
I do have the old one still.
In the 1720s, because King George I could...
The problem, it's not really support. It's a guy. It's a computer shop. It's a guy. It's a guy. I can take it back. Yeah, I can. It's just hassle. It's just like a hassle to take it back. That's all. But if I have to do that, I'll do that. He's white. Well, you guys keep asking the race. He's a white guy. It's actually really annoying today because it's fucking this stopping and starting is total cancer. But, you know, I just wanted to do a chill day off stream. And it's the worst. It's the worst fucking consistency of all week. Ridiculous. Chud found some homo on the street and he bought the PC from him. Okay, dude. Computer shop worker being flooded with Finster pictures every time your computer goes in for a repair. Very funny. Very funny. Very funny. Anyway, guys, I don't think there's much more. Let's do some more British politics. Anne Widdecombe, there was an update on the Anne Widdecombe stuff. So let's take a quick look at this and we'll see some other news stories. Maybe there's some American stuff for the Yankoids. For the goyed out Yankoids. Has Trump done anything crazy? I've not really been paying attention, to be honest. Inside Widdecombe suspect's house with news clippings of Farage pinned to the walls. Oh, uh-oh. Anne Widdecombe's reclusive murder suspect pinned newspaper clippings about Nigel Farage and Reform UK to the walls in his council house. Council house. Typical. Sources said police discovered a mass of articles at Joshua Kerry's address during his arrest. So there he is there. That's the guy. Which I do not look like, just to be very clear. Look nothing like the guy. The discovery and a forensic search of his devices led terror cops to take full charge of the investigation amid a growing belief the 78-year-old MP's death was politically motivated. Wait until the end. What's going on at the end? One source said the articles on the walls were all about Reform UK leader Nigel Farage's party and their immigration policies. Other discoveries saw counter-terrorism officers take overall charge of the police investigation. It would appear he had a profound dislike of the party, its leader, and its policies. So he does sound like a refugees welcome kind of guy, you know? Very Queeman-esque, I would say, in his politics. So watch out for that. Police believe Strictly star and Reform immigration spokeswoman Anne was battered to death. That took me by surprise. Oh, battered. Absolutely. She got absolutely fucking battered, dude. At a Devon home on July 8th around 12:30 p.m. CCTV footage obtained by The Sun showed Kerry leaving his home in Rotherham, South York, just before 8 a.m. that day. An object described by neighbours as a wooden baton was sticking out of the pocket of his shorts. The footage also showed him pulling back on his driveway at around 6 p.m. I tell you what, one thing no one dares to say about Anne Widdecombe. She has aged like a fine wine, hasn't she? If we're being totally honest. She's aged like a fine wine. Look at her there, man. Oh, absolutely stunning, honestly. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful angel. A beautiful angel that's now in heaven. Oh, okay. There he is. He actually, funnily enough, I know you say he looks like me. He actually reminds me very, very much of a friend of mine. He's got a similar facial structure to a friend. It's not actually my friend. But he looks very similar to a friend of mine. But yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that did it. I mean, it's kind of shocking, isn't it? Kind of shocking that this guy did it. I mean, look at him. He looks like such a nice fella. Police believe he has completed a 540-mile round trip from her home to Dartmoor. Her body was found at 11:40 a.m. the next day. A Ring doorbell camera at her home provided police with a crucial breakthrough. Kerry was last night still being quizzed at a central London police station. So yes, guys, that is what we're dealing with. That's who we're dealing with. Thoughts? 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 You think it looks like Sam Hyde? I wish that I could show you this this friend of mine without doxing myself, because it is pretty mental, just how close it is in terms of appearance to this guy. Oh, I can't even say his name because people are weird on the internet, unfortunately. People are too fucking weird. Yes, I've heard it all before. It's you, it's you, it's you. Oh, Chud, does he look just like you? No, actually, he looks nothing like me whatsoever. But everyone's going to say that he does because they're boring and they've got no new jokes to say. Jews made a white man sacrifice himself to make whites look bad. No, he doesn't look like me. Total cope. Total fucking cope. When is Burnham's speech anyway? Apparently it's about midday. Does anyone know? I want to see Burnham's speech. Because now KEIR Starmer's resigned. Anyway, try to be locked in. What, you think I'm capable of killing a UK politician to death? Is that what you're saying? Oh, very funny, very funny. Okay, while we're waiting for Burnham's speech, let's find out about, because apparently there's talk of him maybe doing, I don't know much about this, I don't know if you guys know about this. Apparently he might be doing North Sea drilling, North Sea oil drilling.
Before he's even become Prime Minister, the protests have started. Climate campaigners who woke to reports Andy Burnham could be open to more North Sea drilling went to Westminster today to send a strong message.
What's the right take on this? What is just the correct take? I don't know what the right take on this is. I'm guessing that not doing it inhibits our potential, but then also there's some sort of, is there a genuine climate issue with this? Yeah, nuclear. I'm for nuclear power too. I think nuclear power is good, but obviously I think there's some hesitancy to that because idiots watch Chernobyl and think that's just how it works. Climate change is a hoax. Oh, okay. So hang on a sec. Right, let me get this straight. So the UK currently buys oil anyway, and then that's obviously a negative. If we did it ourselves, it would be a financial boon to us. Is that right? Why are these people against it then? Is it literally just as a product of climate change beliefs?
Rosebank is a climate crime!
Rosebank is predicted to create more than £8 billion in direct investments.
Rosebank, an oil field off the coast of Shetland, and Jackdaw, a gas field near Aberdeen owned by Shell with a platform currently being built in Norway, were stalled due to legal challenges.
Okay, but here's the problem. You say global warming bad, but if we're using this stuff anyway in the meantime, and we can't go completely zero on this, what is the problem with getting it ourselves rather than buying it from the market? That's the point that I don't understand. I don't know. To be clear, I don't know the fucking intricacies of this. Okay, but if we're getting it anyway, what is the issue with getting it ourselves? It seems like we're hampering ourselves for some sort of climate aspect when we're getting it anyway and still burning fossil fuels, but we're just buying it in rather than getting it ourselves. That's my very baseline understanding of this. I don't know the intricacies of the argument. I just think if we're getting it anyway, why aren't we just drilling it ourselves?
But both already had licences before Labour came to power. So Andy Burnham could grant consent for drilling to go ahead at these sites without breaking Labour's manifesto pledge of no new oil and gas licences.
Rosebank being approved at a time when the UK has just experienced...
Yeah, also, I've seen graphs of this as well. And it shows like the UK, and that the UK has got this net zero goal, and they're, got a tiny thing they're doing. And you look at like India and China, and they're just like, and the bar's massive. And there's all this fucking bickering about the UK minimising things. But then other countries are just pumping smog into the atmosphere, and there's nothing. And it's like, hang on a minute. I get trying to have a limit and focusing on reducing it, but why are we hampering ourselves when other countries are just not making those steps? That's my baseline kind of
making your own oil is bad. Much better to pay terrorists for it and sail it across the ocean on massive ships that burn pure crude oil. Stupid.
Thank you for the kicks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because one thing that I'm really against is ideology overriding like the truth, right? And my suspicion is that this is a case of ideology overriding the truth, in that there are people that have got strong positions on climate change, and that is overriding possibly this truth that there's oil there, we could drill it ourselves, this would benefit, and it wouldn't make substantive difference to our output anyway, because we're using these materials as it is.
Record-breaking heat that has cost people's lives, disrupted hospitals, schools, public transport networks. There are wildfires across the country. It is a huge mistake. The science is clear that we can't have new oil and gas supply if we're going to stay within safe climate limits. And
but how does increasing supply change that if we're going to use it anyway? That's the thing that I don't understand. So you're saying increasing supply is bad, but we need the supply anyway, and we're going to purchase it from another country regardless. So if we replace that with our own and don't burn more, then surely we're just doing the same thing environmental-wise. No? That's my rough understanding. Okay. I like this. Really, I've got no fucking idea about. I just the idea she's presenting. I'm just like, but we're going to use it anyway. No, there's a certain amount of oil, coal, whatever that we need to, or gas, whatever it is, that we need to burn. We can't live in a world where we don't do that in any way because we rely on fossil fuels to some level still. So, what is the idea here?
Rosebank will do nothing to bring down our energy bills. It's oil for export. All it will do is make money for already very profitable oil and gas companies.
Okay, that doesn't sound right either. Because if UK companies have got products to put into the market, that's going to benefit the companies, which then I feel like it's a bit of the kind of gold in a vault idea. Like, I don't know, dude. Is it not good that we've got a company in the UK that's doing it, and there's some kickback or benefit that the government in the country gets? No. Because all these Arab companies pump oil out the ground, and it's all linked into their governments, and they're fucking wealthy off the back of it. Okay. Yeah, I think I think I know what the deal is with this. This woman's a retarded leftoid environmentalist that's making shit arguments. That's what I think's happening here. That's my gut feeling.
Before Keir Starmer packed up his premiership, oil and gas policy was a key issue dividing his party. And just last month, the Conservatives delivered a shock, winning their first parliamentary by-election in Scotland for 50 years in Aberdeen South by strongly backing more drilling. This past week has seen a significant lobbying effort from the energy industry and trade unions, who argue it would be better for the climate if we didn't rely so much on fossil fuel imports from other countries.
What we want to see when Andy Burnham arrives in number 10 is a genuine change in policy, but also in the tone that very clearly recognizes the value to our society of domestic oil and gas production in the UK. And that needs to be done alongside the continued support for renewables and climate commitments. An acknowledgement and a recognition that both are equally important if we are going to have a successful energy transition.
Yeah, the little I know about this is that as there are renewable forms of energy that are worth investing in, solar, etc., but we're not in a position where that can overcome our need to use oil and gas and stuff, right? So it's nice to have a consideration towards that and to build that infrastructure. But it's not like we're going to get to a point anytime soon where we can go, right, we've got enough solar panels now, let's switch off the oil and gas. So it needs to be a kind of blended model where you get as much renewable as you can and it's propped up with oil and gas. So if we're going to use oil and gas, we might as well get it ourselves from our own country. area. I tell you, that's my basic retarded take, that not knowing anything about this. Nuclear as well. I like nuclear's good. Nuclear's great. I think it's crazy that we're not doing more stuff with nuclear. But I know that that's kind of a, you know, sort of sensitive topic or some shit, isn't it?
Ed Miliband once described Rosebank as climate vandalism, so a shift in direction on oil and gas.
Successful energy transition.
Ed Miliband once described Rosebank as climate vandalism, so a shift in direction on oil and gas policy could further complicate Andy Burnham's pick for Chancellor, with Shabana Mahmood emerging as a front-runner. A source on Mr Burnham's team said no final decisions have been taken on oil and gas policy as he prepares for his first speech as Prime Minister on Monday.
Now, among the other Labour manifesto pledges...
Yeah, Ed Miliband... Dude. What the fuck was that? Is it my browser? Is my browser raping my computer? Is that the fucking problem, dude? Hello? Have I got spyware? Is it got spyware on my computer? I'm gonna switch to Firefox, I think. I think I need to switch to Firefox. I'm gonna have a whole reset situation and figure out what the fuck's going on with this stupid computer, man.
Prepares for his first speech as Prime Minister on Monday.
Now, among the other Labour manifesto pledges, which Andy Burnham will now inherit, is a total ban on fracking. Back in 2019, the then Conservative government introduced a fracking moratorium in England. But according to campaigners, a loophole has allowed methods known as mini-fracking to carry on. Labour promised to shut it down, but...
Fracking? Thoughts on fracking? Dude, this is like, I don't even fucking... What is fracking again? Fracking is when they dig out gases in the ground and it pisses people off because it's like bad for the area or some shit. Frack directly after pensioners' house. Okay, dude, okay. We need fracking. Okay, dude. Yeah, right. See, dude, this is the problem, man. I don't know about a lot of this shit, but then you hear some lefty talk about it and I think that doesn't sound right. Your logic sounds bullshit. What are you on about? So I'm not, you know. But then also I don't want to be some fucking oil baron retard that's like, yeah, just, you know, just mush up all the animals and turn them into paste to fuel our machines. Like, I don't want to be like that with it. But I also just hear stuff, I'm like, that doesn't sound right to me.
Exclusive data for this programme shows there are still 79 places across the country where fracking could technically take place. Our political reporter, Andrew Misra.
And the fact that it's fucking Extinction Rebellion. Prominent retards, Extinction Rebellion. Okay. I'm like, okay, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
Explains.
By its very nature, fracking is divisive, cracking rock to release gas. It's effectively been banned in England since 2019 after earth tremors linked to fracking in Lancashire. A moratorium ended the controversy. Or did it? In North Yorkshire, anger has resurfaced. A low-volume so-called mini-fracking proposal has been rejected by the council after more than 1,600 objections from local residents.
My absolute dread is the earthquake risk.
Susan...
Is there an earthquake risk? North Sea fracking was peak. Okay. The mega court will definitely do it safely with high regard to the lives of the locals. Well, I mean, that's difficult because whilst I know that there's a compelling narrative of like, you know, oh, the evil company, surely companies would be incentivized to do it well because they'd want to have the support of communities, and if they could demonstrate they can do it well, then people will be more supportive of it. Is that not a thing? Yeah, I don't know. It just seems a bit self-defeatist to do it once and fuck it all up and everyone's pissed off and then that's going to want it to happen again. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the true answer to that is. Maybe there could be Evo global homo conglomerates that just want to rape everyone's drinking water and don't give a fuck either way. But I would have thought there's an incentive there to do it well, potentially.
Lives 400 metres away from the proposed site.
It makes me extremely anxious, and it sort of, I don't know, just invades everything sometimes. It's overwhelming. I've had it said to me that, oh, it's just NIMBYism.
Why isn't this NIMBYism?
This fracking industry is something that affects hundreds of communities across the country.
Okay. Well, straight away. See, this is the problem, dude, is whilst I can absolutely see the evil conglomerate angle, okay? I can see that. I then see some fucking cunt like this being against it, and I'm thinking, hang on a second. Hang on a fucking minute. Hang on a fucking minute. You just don't want it in your back fucking yard. But what do I fucking know what the reality of it is? Why am I going to go off this fucking bitch's words? She just doesn't want it to happen in an area, which is fair enough. I get it, right? But are you against it on a principle basis, or are you a legitimate basis, or are you against it just because it's like, oh, I don't want that in my backyard?
In a very adverse way. This is profit over people.
Would you have it in your backyard? I don't know enough about it. If there was some sort of, you know, certainty that it wouldn't cause issues, I don't see why not. I don't know. What do? They break the rock underground and it makes something.
Deep underground lie stores of once inaccessible natural gas. This gas was likely formed over millions of years as layers of decaying organisms were exposed to intense heat and pressure under the Earth's crust. There's a technology called hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, that can extract this natural gas, potentially powering us for decades to come. So how does fracking work, and why is it a source of such heated controversy? A fracking site can be anywhere with natural gas, from a remote desert to several hundred feet from your backyard. It starts out with a long vertical hole, known as a well bore, drilled down through layers of sediment. When the well reaches 2,500 to 3,000 meters, it's at its kickoff point, where it can begin the process of horizontal drilling. It turns 90 degrees and extends horizontally for about 1.5 kilometers through a compressed black layer called the shale rock formation. A specialized perforating gun is then lowered and fired, creating a series of small inch-long holes that burst through the well's casing into the rock layer.
I'm just thinking we could maybe dig down there and find some more content for stream, eh? My favourite, a bit cold. Okay.
About 3 to 4 months after the initial drilling, the well is ready for fracking to begin. Fracking fluid is pumped down into the well at a pressure so high it cracks the shale rock, creating fractures through which the trapped gas and oil can escape. The fluid itself is more than 90% water. The rest is made up of concentrated chemical additives. These vary depending on the specific characteristics of the fracking site, but usually fall into 3 categories.
Dude, it is impressive. It is impressive. I think the thing is he's going to get into it, I'm sure. But I can see theoretically why someone might have a problem with this. And I think it's one of those where if there was a way of having provisos or some sort of technology or something that demonstrated that there is not risk of bad things happening to whatever, there's nothing against this necessarily. But I guess it's the uncertainty and not trusting companies that leads to people being against it, I would assume.
Acids for clearing debris and dissolving minerals, friction-reducing compounds to...
Just pump random shit deep into the ground. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, but the problem with that is that's just like retarded, isn't it? That's just like not based. That's based on. That's what I'm talking about, dude. I don't know what I think about this. I don't know enough about it, right? But just being like, oh, you're just pumping random chemicals into the ground. Well, yeah, there's a bunch of shit that sounds crazy on paper, but we do it because it's of great benefit, you know? Like, what's the science on it? What's the actual science of this? How does it work scientifically? What are the scientific arguments against it? And what are the responses to that from the people that want to do it? What safeguards or measures are in place that would allow a company to do this in a way that, you know, minimizes risk or something?
Create a slippery form of water known as slick water, and disinfectant to prevent bacteria growth. Sand or clay is also mixed into the water to prop open the fissures so the gas and oil can keep leaking out even after the pressure is released. It's estimated that all of fracking's intense pumping and flushing uses an average of 3 to 6 million gallons of water per well. That's actually not a lot compared to agriculture, power plants, or even golf course maintenance.
Oh, dude, this has come up recently. Fuck, I should have covered this, actually. That's actually a great topic, and I forgot. Moist Critical had some take about data centers, and he had some sort of ill-informed Reddit tier take that he was pushing, and everyone was shitting on him for it.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Your analysis is completely backwards. Looking at community or economic impact is not relevant. Fist, you should get a race check of the oil and gas company owners to determine if they have your interests in mind.
Very true. Thank you for the 333. Thank you. Thank you.
But it can have a notable impact on local water supply. And disposing of used fracking water is also an issue. Along with the trapped gas that's pumped up to the surface, millions of gallons of flowback liquid come gushing up. This liquid, containing contaminants like radioactive material, salts, heavy metals, and hydrocarbons, needs to be stored and
because the thing is, the reason that I'm like this with fracking is because I know what it's like with nuclear energy, right? I actually have got a friend that is a nuclear engineer, and he worked at a nuclear power plant for a while, and he like basically filled me in on it, and it got me realizing of how bullshit all the discussion is about it, and everyone fucking freaks out about nuclear waste. And it's the same thing, isn't it? Oh, yeah, push some nuclear waste. It doesn't disappear for X years. See what happens then. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's like actually very efficient, good. It can be handled correctly, etc., etc. But people have got this kind of negative energy towards it on vibes rather than actual science. And that's why with something like this, I know it's easy to look at this and just immediately dismiss it. But I don't know if it's the same as nuclear or if it is genuinely got issues that are legitimately being expressed. That's my concern. That's my issue. That's my issue.
Disposed of. That's usually done in pits on site, in deep wells, or off-site at water treatment facilities. Another option is to recycle the flowback liquid, but the recycling process can actually increase levels of contamination, since the water is more toxic with each use. Wells are typically encased in steel and cement to prevent contaminants from leaking into groundwater. But any negligence or fracking-related accidents can have devastating effects.
Okay, I can see that then. So one of the issues with this is going to be trusting companies because of, you know, various instances of energy companies, natural resource companies, whatever, fucking things up. I understand there's a big trust issue. That makes sense to me. So there is a legitimate trust issue there. That's cool. I can accept that, yes, there is a trust issue. And you are basically reliant on companies doing this to the correct standard. Otherwise, you're raped. Okay. I get that. Okay. I can see that. I can absolutely see there being a trust concern. I get that.
Fracturing directly into underground water hazardous underground seepage and leakage, and inadequate treatment and disposal of highly toxic wastewater can potentially contaminate drinking water around a fracking site. There's also concern about the threat of earthquakes and damaged infrastructure from pressure and wastewater injection. Links between fracking and increased seismic activity leave unresolved questions about long-term pressure imbalances that might be happening deep beneath our feet. Fracking's biggest controversy, though, is happening above the ground. The general
Okay, so if there's fracking possible at certain areas away from humans, so I think Scrimpin was talking about North Sea fracking or something. If there's some way of doing it away from human population, I think that makes sense, right? But if it's near population centres, I do think there's legitimate concern, and that needs to be dealt with somehow if you want to pursue this. So I don't think it's as simple as just start fracking, go ahead. There are unresolved issues, trust issues, certainties, ensuring companies do it correctly and so on and so forth. Frack around the Browns. Okay, dude. Yeah, okay. So I am cautiously interested, I guess. I'm cautiously interested. I think that's my rough view on it. I think there is more legitimate concern than with nuclear power. But if there were ways and means of overcoming this, I don't see in the future if this could be developed or something,
Consensus is that burning natural gas is better for the environment than burning coal.
Well, it's not to say that I assume it's done wrong. I'm saying that if there's a genuine trust issue, that needs to be resolved. You need to find a way to resolve that before you can really get people on board, right? Why not burn our... I thought you said poor.
Since the gas collected from fracking emits only half the carbon dioxide as coal per unit of energy. The pollution caused by the fracking itself, though, isn't negligible. Methane that leaks out during the drilling and pumping process is many times more potent than carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. Some scientists argue that methane eventually dissipates, so has a relatively low long-term impact. But a greater question hangs in the air. Does fracking take time, money, and research away from the development of cleaner, renewable energy sources? Natural gas is non-renewable, and the short-run economic interests supporting fracking may fall short in the face of global climate change. Experts are still examining fracking's overarching effects. Although modern fracking has been around since the 1940s, it's boomed in the last few decades as other sources of natural gas decrease the costs of non-renewable energy.
Okay, what's the deal in America? So America's doing it already. What's the situation there?
Rise, and cutting-edge technologies make it so accessible. But many countries and regions have already banned fracking in response to environmental concerns. It's undeniable that fracking has reshaped the energy landscape around the world. But for what long-term benefit, and at what cost?
Okay, well, anyway. Hey, it's happening,
16.
it's happening. It's happening. Let's find out what Burnham's saying now. Let's go! He's going to announce fracking and oil. Yes. No, I don't know. Let's wind it back. Let's roll it back. Guys, you ready to watch some history? I love watching history with you guys. Let's go. Let's wind it back. Let's wind it back. We're winding it back. Let's check out how fit his missus is as well. Here we go, guys. We can track his car as well. We'll do the whole thing.
How much serious thinking? Because there is no hiding place when you get in here. And I think we will find out if he does have the policies, the vision, and to be honest as well, the authority to deliver.
Hey, there he is.
On that programme of government. We're watching his car, they're travelling through central London as he moves from Buckingham Palace to number 10. And very, very shortly, he is
Guys, I know you, dude. You understand the streamer tax is actually a really bad tax idea. You understand that, don't you, guys? Okay. Bomb feeder, thank you for the kicks. Thank you, thank you. For me, also, dude, I paid shitloads as it is, man. 30% for every pound that I fucking make, right? 30 pence goes straight to some fucking disabled wretch for their car, man. Fuck off, dude.
arrive in an absolutely packed Downing Street. Beth Rigby is here with me as well. Beth, what are we going to be expecting in the moments ahead?
Well, I mean, the excitement in the street now is palpable, as you were saying. His mum's here, his children are here, dozens of his supporters and his allies, and the cars are now pulling into Downing Street. And we are going to hear from Andy Burnham, as for the first time he talks to the country as our new Prime Minister. He's just coming up the street now.
He's about to get out of the car. You can hear the helicopters overhead, I'm sure. You can hear the applause, and that applause is about to get even louder as the new Prime Minister arrives.
Whoa, let's go! More Browns coming in, right? More tax, more free disabled cars. We're loving life. It's me. It's me. I'm there.
That lady there is Andy Burnham's mum. She couldn't be prouder watching her son become Prime Minister, and he is embraced as my pen, sorry. There he is with his wife.
Is that his wife? Oh dear. Oh no. At least Starmer's wife looked better than this.
Mary Frogs, who he met at Fitzwilliam in Cambridge, where I also went. So there you go, there's my Andy Burnham connection.
Oh, it's mum. Oh, it's his mother. Okay, thank fuck for that. Holy shit, thank fuck for that. We got a chance. We got a chance. Totally ungoonable. Oh, did you see that? He shook hands with the Brown. He shook hands with the Brown. Bro, dude, I hope Burnham crashed and burst and tried to repent for his sins. Let me make my position very clear, so I don't have to do this gay thing where I feel like I've got to apologise for Andy Burnham, okay? Keir Starmer's position was untenable. For the Labour Party, there was no other option. His opinion rating was in the toilet. Burnham is the only possible person that would enable Labour to have a chance at the next election. With that being said, I do not think Labour will win the next election. I think he has got an unwinnable task here. And I think Reform Conservative Coalition, or if Reform pull it back, Reform is inevitable at this point. I do not think enough is going to happen in the next 3 years. It's going to change people's minds, no matter what happens. Okay? I think Labour will lose the next election. I think we're so mind-raped by social media that it's not going to be fast enough for anyone. Sinany, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. All I care is the UK gets a PM that won't let Trump bully him into pardoning the Tates. True. No, I'm not blaming social media for Labour's failures. I'm saying it doesn't matter what Burnham does, in my mind, because there's not going to be enough change to substantively change people's perspective, and they're locked in to their perspectives. That even if he got rid of every single migrant tomorrow with a click of his fingers, it wouldn't be enough for people, right? They'd still be bothered by that because they want more, 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 more. So it's not about you know, it's not saying that Labour are never at fault. It's saying that I think expectations are such that there's nothing he can do to please those people.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
His mother is his wife. He is an incest beast like all Britoids. And his father is also his grandfather. Burnham will fail and burn.
Thank you for the 333. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, dude, do you know what the crazy reality of it is? You don't actually need to solve anything in politics anymore. You just need to make it look like you're solving something, right? That's all you need to do. Burnham's best thing is not to do anything and just to put out a bunch of fucking PR statements talking about the shit he's done, bro. Yeah, we deported a bunch of migrants. What of it? Oh, shit, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't need to actually do stuff. You can just make it look like you're doing stuff. You know, Trump in America has got this massive fucking immigration thing, and apparently there's like loads of problems with it from the right. I mean, not from the progressives, from the right. But because you got an ICE agent looking hard, there's some people that are like, yeah, that looks cool, that'll do. Jewish question mark, Jewish. Jewish. Very Jewish nose. Mummy Burnham or Kemi? Dude, some of you people have got some sort of racial fetish about Kemi Badenoch. It's mental. Gay, 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 gay. Gaylord.
Thank you. I have just come from Buckingham Palace, where I have accepted His Majesty the King's invitation to form a government.
Hey, let's go!
In doing so, I am acutely conscious that I am the 6th person in the last 10 years to walk up this street, the 7th Prime Minister since 2016, making this a moment for reflection and new resolution. It requires my generation of politicians to raise our game and rise to the new challenge. Britain needs to show the world that we can regain our stability once again. And that is our challenge, to make politics work, to make it work better. I know people at home are fed up with politics.
How come PM switch so often in England? Well, I mean, There's probably a video we could watch about that explains it. It's to do with the tumultuous decade that we've had. Brexit is a massive influence on why prime ministers have changed so regularly. And I think that Brexit caused a lot of turmoil that's easy to pin on a prime minister rather than just accept that there's difficult consequences to contend with that's going to take a while to iron out. I don't know, I think social media is a big influence too. I think that people, you know, are not... I don't fucking... Let's watch a video about it, maybe, if we've got time. I think I'd be interested to have someone, you know, kind of lay out the reasons. But if you look through, there are specific reasons why people went. You know, David Cameron went because he called for a Brexit vote and then didn't want to execute it because he voted Remain, so he left. Theresa May ended up leaving because she couldn't get Brexit done effectively. So I think, what was it? Didn't she have a rebellion from the Conservative MPs and they kicked her out because they felt she wasn't doing it correctly or doing it quick enough? Liz Truss was obviously a total... Boris Johnson, obviously, massive controversy over the Partygate stuff. He gets kicked out. Liz Truss crashed the economy, so she got kicked out. And obviously Rishi Sunak was voted out. And Keir Starmer, obviously, we know what happened with Keir Starmer. So there are like reasons you could say as to why they left. But I think the underpinning is tumultuous decade because of Brexit, put on the shoulders of PMs. Realistically, it's just an insane thing that happened, and it was very difficult to execute well. If you know, that's the reality. We get more PM re-elections than normal Chud streams. Shut up, Puddle Sucker. That's bollocks. Oh, that was his wife. Oh, that was his wife, apparently. No! No! Maybe she looks better with her hair down.
I hear you, and I want to be honest with you. We have not been good enough, and we need to be better. We will be. We will make this moment a circuit breaker for Britain, bringing forward the biggest changes.
No, that's what Starmer said. No!
The last 40 years. A new political model and a new economic model. In the 1980s, Britain took some wrong turns. Political power was centralised. Economic power privatised. Large parts of the country deindustrialised, and they still haven't recovered. Many feel as though they're still in decline, and they don't have the ability to turn things around. And that's why we will change politics, to make it more collaborative, more about problem solving than point scoring. And we will take power out of here and carry it into every postcode in the land so that they can do more. And in doing more, build a new economy where we...
See, I don't have a problem with this necessarily. I guess my question is, aren't there massive skill gaps from like Northerners and shit, you know? Aren't there like massive skill gaps to do the things that are needed in the modern economy? I do have a very negative view of Northerners, to be honest. Aren't they all just like pissed up idiots that cry about not having a coal mine to work in anymore? Dude, is that not what they just are? That's what they are to us Southerners. Oh, the coal mine closed 40 years ago and now I'm on the dole forever. Fucking sort your shit out, dude. Southern Epsilon. No, in all seriousness, yeah, I think there probably is. Like, I think there probably is stuff to unlock in the north, you know? Like Manchester and stuff. You go to Manchester, man, it's crazy. You know, Manchester when I was growing up was like, I don't know, kind of a bit like, nah. A bit, not a shithole, but you didn't really think much of it. But you go up there and it's like London. It's like going to London. It's crazy how it's really moved forward since I was a kid. You know, it's like an advanced place now. They got Greggs everywhere. It's great. It's great. But no, in all seriousness, you know, I don't know the intricacies of how Manchester's been run and all of Andy Burnham stuff. Apparently he left it in loads of debt. I don't know about that. I've not looked into that. So that could be bad. But I think that, yeah, it's become gentrified. It's become gentrified, which is good, which is a good thing. Exactly. Get rid of the blacks, get the whites in. No, I'm not in Manchester now, but I just remember being taken aback at how, you know, I don't know, just going there seemed like I've got quite a good place, you know, just on my perception. Obviously, the intricacies could tell a different story. But it you know, it wasn't what I was expecting based on my perception, like growing up about Manchester, you know. The perception is, like I said, you know, I was being a bit silly, but it is like this idea that in the north there is a lot of kind of destitution and it's kind of a bit backwards. They don't have the skills to keep up with the modern economy. You know, that's the kind of concept that you have. But then you go there and you're like, oh, okay, these guys are right, actually. Because there are areas of the country that had massive industrialized areas, and then they all went away and got sent abroad. And then there's this kind of idea of like this family that previously they would have had generations going into into some sort of, you know, trade, and they can't now because the fucking place is closed. Well, that's more the Scottish. The Scottish are the heroin addicts, gobbling haggis and fried Mars bars in between getting the hits of smack.
We put life's essentials back under stronger public control to make them affordable to you again. Reindustrialising Britain, using public procurement to back British industry. Later this year, I will bring forward a new plan for Britain, a 10-year plan. Laying out
hey, very Stalin-esque. Very Stalin-esque. I like that. That's good.
Where we are now to where I believe we all want Britain to be, wherever we're coming from, whatever party we support.
Okay,
but
that's
I can
wonderful.
do something
how do I make money
to give people some.
From his first words, I can tell that he is cooked. Started with 6 PMs, a negative. And no follow-up to definitive positive solution. You should start with berating your enemies and blaming everything on them. Then promise to get rid of them. Trump knows.
Yes, dude. They should be more Trump-like. I agree. That'd actually be good, probably, to be honest. Thank you for the 420.
Breathing space now. Some help with the cost of living. And I will set out some of those measures starting tomorrow, including how we pay for them.
Oh, no. That is the one thing that I am like, oh, you know. Ooh, what's that? Who's going to be paying for that then? Who's going to be paying for that? Not even from like a personal perspective, because things like capital gains tax is not something that's really relevant to me, right? I'm not in any time in the near future going to be paying any capital gains tax, because any investments that I do would be within a system where the ISA, the tax-free ISA thing. So I wouldn't even need to worry about something like that. I just think that there's conversations about increasing capital gains tax. And I just think, oh, those things don't sound particularly good to me. I think people don't like the land. I think the land value tax stuff is good. I think that could be something worth looking at. So maybe something like that. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. Gary's going to be in charge of the treasury. As long as it's not a stupid fucking wealth tax, bro. If there's a wealth tax, that's the one thing I'll be really fucking annoyed about. But yeah.
Will help more young people into work by changing.
Well, no, because I know it's easy, you know. I just don't want it to seem like I'm like, oh, I think this tax is bad because it would personally affect me. Because obviously there's other factors other than your personal fucking bottom line, right? The things that at the moment that would affect me would be an increase in income tax or dividend tax. Those are the two things that would have a negative impact on me in terms of like take home. But other than that, well, I guess a corporation tax as well, because I'm setting up this company soon. So we'll see. We'll see what's proposed. But I think the problem is that if you pull the levers too much, that then upsets the markets, and that can then have further negative detriments that they probably are going to want to avoid. So there's probably some limitation on what they're willing to do.
the education system and giving them more support, more mental health support. And we will build more council homes. That is the fair and sustainable way to bring the welfare bill down, to meet our fiscal rules and to honour our commitments on defence to our international partners. We will help people to live well.
Oh, a council home is public housing. So, yeah, it's housing owned by the state that is rented out below market rates, often in order to, you know, people that need a lower rent, essentially. So I think council houses are good. Depends on where they're built and stuff. And there are some issues. I was reading this article about, we looked at it the other day, where there's people who are in these council houses where there's these absurdly low rents. And there probably needs to be something there that happens. Well, they're like Section 8. Well, the thing is with council houses is that they're not supposed to have this negative perception, but they have become more negatively perceived over time. Because, you know, obviously they're like cheaper and, you know, you perceive that there's some poor person in there. But actually there's some people that are in council houses that don't even need the discount, but they just, you know, they've lucked into this situation where they have it anyway, and then they don't want to leave. We looked at an article about it the other day. It was quite interesting, but there's definitely some alleviation, something that needs to happen there. There was that website we looked at where you could swap council houses. That looks fucking crazy. But the problem with building council houses, though, my understanding of it is that there's lots of red tape that stops housing being built. And Labour had a target to build 1.5 million houses, I think, by the end of, you know, the reign of Starmer, in the 5 years. And at the moment, it's at like 368,000 or something. And it's because a lot of it is because of red tape, because there's limitations, there's NIMBYism. People don't want these houses getting built in their areas. You know, there's problems. There's problems with it. So it's one of those where it's like, it's all very well to say these things, but like, how are you going to contend with the issues that have already been faced? What are you going to do differently to contend with the fact that there's this apparent red tape that stops new houses being built? What's going to be different, you know? Like, it's easy to say. Well, dude, the thing is that, like, the bedroom tax was obviously massive. I can't remember the details of it. I vaguely remember it, but wasn't it like massively negatively viewed? But the point was that if you're in a fucking house with a bunch of bedrooms that aren't being used, right? That does have that's widespread. There's a negative market aspect happening there because that should be going back to the market. Like, if you don't need something like that, you sell it, get the money from it, move it to something that's more suitable. So, I don't know. There needs to be something anyway. Just to deport people, then we don't need to build houses. Very true, Anglo Pigeon. Very true. Very true.
Building a more preventative state, investing in people's success rather than paying for failure. And that work starts now. I will soon go through that door behind me and issue my first instruction to end rough sleeping in our country.
Dude, see, that would be based if he said, oh, we're going to do that by liquidating the homeless. We're going to be liquidating the homeless. What does that mean? What does that even mean?
It's about putting the right values and the right standards at the heart of government. I will put the care of people at the heart of everything I do. I will give this my all, and I ask you all to pull with me. Let's build a new national sense of unity, of common purpose and positivity. Let us make this the moment when Britain starts to believe again. The moment we bring back hope. Thank you very much, everybody.
God, you guys are so negative, aren't you? We don't even know what's going on yet, but you guys are like, this is going to be shit. Bro, just give it let's see. If it's shit, we can say it's shit when we hear it's shit, okay? Let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see. Just relax. Sorry about your mate Starmer. This is boring. Well, unfortunately, I'm chilling today, so what can you do? If you don't like it, go and watch literally anything else, you fucking loser. Fuck you. Dude, anyway, I've got a Gary Stevenson video that I wanted to watch. Are we going to get anything from him further, though? I don't know if there's going to be anything further. I think it normally takes, like, what? A day or so for all the cabinet to be announced? I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if we're going to get anything substantive. You're mad this guy's about to launch his stream attacks. Yeah, man, I'm sure that's going to happen. You guys should set up a lobbying group to tax me more. Hey, Burnham. Hey, Andy. No, I actually agree, Mr. Memes. I actually agree. I think Ed Miliband would be way too progressive and left-wing for the economy as it stands. Because the problem is we need to cut spending. And I think Miliband would be on a bit of a spending spree, wouldn't he?
Andy Burnham, the new Prime Minister, acutely aware, he says, that he is the 5th Prime Minister in 4 years.
Mum or wife? Okay, poll coming up. Very
After
true.
doing his speech, he first went to his wife, he then went to his longest standing aide, and he spent the longest time with his mother. And that hug with his mother, I think, perhaps showed the moment of his political ambitions being realised and what it meant to that family. And now the hard work starts. He's inside Downing Street. He's meeting
Antonio Romeo, who is the Cabinet Secretary, and now he's going to greet the staff. But wasn't that a moment, Sophie? He walked up Downing Street, and at the far end is his mother, Eileen, and his children. He blew her a kiss before he gave the speech, and she blew one back, and then he gave her the longest of embraces. And what a moment for his mum to see her son become Prime Minister. Quite something.
We got some detail as well of what to expect. He said that he will set out a 10-year plan for...
Yo, hey! Thank you for the sub. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Moose Cheeks.
Britain later this year, but he said that there are some things that he can do more swiftly, including measures on the cost of living. That, of course, as we expected, will be his immediate priority, and he said that he will have some more details on that tomorrow, including how it's going to be paid for. So that, I think, one of the first policy priorities, and the first pledge. We had the first pledge as well, which was to end rough sleeping in this country, in his words.
Yeah, let's go through that speech. It was number one. It was a very
Dude, that is the only... Dude. That is the only issue for me. Dude, let me find this thing. Who know that there's a report the Office of Budget Responsibility did. I'll find it. I'll find it. But they were saying that basically current spending and the projections are completely untenable, and there needs to be fucking cuts basically. And I'm worried that there's not going to be enough of a hard-nosed kind of angle towards it. Chud was up in arms when the Conservatives put Sunak in without. I don't think I've ever said that, have I? I don't think I've ever said that there needs to be a new election, because I hope not, at least. I hope not. But I don't think I've ever complained about that, because that's just not how our system works. We've got Parliament shit going on. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to subject you all to my favourite topic. Now, I want to find... I'm only watching this because I want to find something out. I want to understand what this video is, because it's Gary Economics 4 years ago, and the video is called Basics of Investing. And I'm thinking, what? All you do now is bang on about the wealth tax. So what is this then? Were you actually giving investment advice, or is it some, you know, angle with which to talk about how we need to tax the rich more back then?
So for this, we're going to talk about investing, personal finance, and because I get asked on all my socials, I get asked all the time, can you give me some advice? What can I do with my money? How can I make more money for my money? So the first thing I want people to understand is basically, I talk a lot in my videos about how wealthy people make a lot of money from their money. So if you have like £10 million, which a lot of wealthy families do, then they might make £300,000 a year just from their money. It's important to understand that they're able to make that money because they are so super rich. So it's pretty ordinary for wealthy people, wealthy families to make sort of 3%, 5% from their money. That's where I get these numbers from. So then if you have a family wealth of £10 million, you can make £300,000, £500,000. And that's easy enough to live a good life off. But for ordinary people who might have £10,000, £20,000, if you make 3%, you know, it's better than not making it, but it's not going to change your life, right? If you have £20,000 savings and you make 3%, that's going to make you £600 a year, right? Which is great. You want to make £600 a year, but it's not going to change your life. So I have a bit of a concern that sometimes people come to me asking for advice, and often what they really want is kind of get rich quick schemes. You know, we've seen a lot of people make a lot of money very quickly on things like Bitcoin and things like this in recent times, or like Tesla, these sort of things that have gone up super quick.
Well, this is like a common in like personal finance stuff. It's the idea that the first 100k is a slog because you don't have the benefit of compounding quite the same, right? But once you get to 100k, it starts to get quicker and more alleviated because, you know, percentage points on 100k look way much juicier, and it starts to increase quickly, and it sort of has that compounding effect, you know? But yeah, obviously this seems to be, so far, get rich quick schemes are bollocks. And I'm guessing he's going to, well, I don't know what he's, my assumption is he probably was doing more general investment stuff. And he's probably going to say, slog it out, it'll get easier. But we'll see. Maybe he's going to do a wealth tax thing.
And I think often when people ask for this kind of advice, that's what they're looking for. You know, they're looking to like make, you know, huge amounts of money despite only starting with 10, 20, 30,000 pounds. I think it's important for people to realize the reason that super rich people and very rich people are able to make huge amounts of money from their money is because they start with huge amounts of money. So these guys who already have even 1 million, 2 million pounds, that can make you like £50,000, £100,000 a year to live off. But for ordinary people who might have savings of 20, 30, 40,000 pounds, you're not going to make life-changing sums. And people who do offer you sort of get rich quick schemes, invest 20, 30, 40,000 pounds, you're going to make 100,000 pounds. Please be very, very skeptical of those guys.
Okay, this is so far actually, there's a bit of like the wealthy. But I think the point he's making is, you know, there's no get rich quick scheme. The wealthy are wealthy, which is true. They are wealthy, and it's easy for them to, you know, make money off of their existing wealth. I mean, you put X millions into just a basic savings account and it will bring about X amount interest. Do you see what I mean? Which is true if someone's got cash. So I don't hate this so far. My suspicion is that he was doing normal financial stuff and it wasn't hitting, so he switched to this wealth tax shit. That's what I think's happened here. Just to predict what's going to happen, but let's see.
Probably not people you can trust. Realistically, what we're talking about is if you can make 10%, 20% from your money, then you're doing really, really, really well. But even that, if you make 20%, which is a really super good return, and you start with 50 grand, that's making you 10 grand a year. So it's obviously it's great money, but that's a fantastic return, and it's you know, it's not going to change your life. So that's the first thing. When we talk about investing, you need to understand that it's not going to make you huge amounts of money unless you start with huge amounts of money. And that's an important point, because I often think people come to me from ordinary backgrounds, even maybe poor backgrounds like what I'm from, and they see investing as a way out of poverty, out of a difficult situation. But the truth is, the way things are set up right now,
oh, hang on.
That's wonderful.
It's not a reliable way out.
And off depressed people.
3 head, 3 head, 3 head, 3 head, 3 head, 3 head.
Thank you for the tip. Thank you. Okay, this seems... Okay, that sounds pretty rough. Well, I mean, it depends the angle he goes. I think, okay, as a point to someone who has got nothing, who is starting from zero, right? I think that there's a perception that you, on your humble thing, can become wealthy like that. And that's obviously not possible. From a standing start, you're going to have to accept it's going to be tough. It's whether the message is, don't fucking bother, or it's going to be tough, keep plugging away, and eventually, over time, you will build. But it takes time and you've got to be disciplined, right? But if you're in, like, and this is the thing, what does it mean by poverty? If you're in poverty, investing is not going to get you out of poverty, right? If you're in poverty, but I mean actual poverty, not fucking bullshit poverty, right? As in, you literally cannot make ends meet and you're paycheck to paycheck and that's not fucking working, right? Because there's some people, even with maximal savings, you're going to be putting away a fucking pittance and it's barely going to do anything for you, even if you saved for years, you know? And then there's people that aren't in poverty, but think they are because they're shit at money. And if they made better decisions, they would be able to build something. Are they going to be wealthy? No. But they could build something over time that's going to benefit them and they're going to have a decent retirement, something like that, you know? But then the message is, if someone's in poverty, what do you do about that? And the reality is that there probably is a level of government assistance you will need in order to get your basic needs met. And then it's about thinking, how do you step beyond that to move forward? And whilst you might be pulled out of poverty, you know, once you've got that sorted, what can you do then to kind of move forward, you know? The whole thing here is he going to give the message of like, don't fucking bother? Or is it like, don't be unrealistic, but you can make something of it? I don't know.
Everything you do, every way you try to make money by, for example, you know, betting on Bitcoin or betting on the stock market is risky. You can lose money. Basically, it's not a reliable way out. And the reason why I talk about what I talk about, saying we need to bring in a wealth tax, is because these kinds of solutions...
Okay, I'll take the L. I was wrong. This is a wealth tax video. There is a wealth tax video.
This Guy Stevenson guy. This is embarrassing for you, Chuddy Guy. He reads economic stats and research, misunderstands it and then spews bullshit. And you don't read shit and just spew bullshit. It's painful to watch you ignorant goyim arguing.
Thank you for the 420, but I will continue to watch in spite of your complaints.
It's encouraging ordinary people to gamble on the stock
Also,
market.
here's another thing as well. Isn't it a little bit backwards to tip to me when I'm doing something that you don't like? Surely you're better off withholding your tip until I'm doing something that you do like. Because why would I stop when you give me a tip? That's ridiculous.
Market to gamble on cryptocurrencies. I think they're super dangerous basically, and they're not reliable ways out. And the only way that people as a whole are going to improve their lives is basically by bringing in changes to the tax system and making the wealthier people pay higher taxes. But that said, there are a few things ordinary people...
At this point you should just watch Epstein interviews and treat them as gospel. Would be much more productive than grokking shit and trying to argue with Gary. You don't even know which questions to ask to refute his bullshit.
Another 420. Thank you very much. I'll take it. I'll take it, even though you're moaning. I'll take it. Thank you.
We can do, and we're going to talk about what you can do. Oh, but before I get on to that, I just wanted to quickly add, you know, if you are lucky enough to have, say, £50,000, £100,000 that you can invest, and that's kind of the amount of money that you really need to be able to make like really significantly sums of money that are going to affect your life.
Hang on a sec. What was that?
What you can do. Oh, but before I get on to that, I just wanted to quickly add, you know, if you are lucky enough to have, say, £50,000, £100,000 that you can invest, and that's kind of the amount of money that you really need to be able to make like really significantly sums of money that are going to affect your life. Just be aware that there's people out there that don't have that, and a lot of people don't have that. One of the pieces of advice I'm going to give
I misunderstood what this was going to be. I thought that this was going to be him actually giving investment advice and it not working and going towards the wealth tax thing. But it sounds like he's always been doing this wealth tax shit. He's always been doing this. Chud says, less financial support equals more quality. Well, dude, it's literally, dude, it's my fucking day off, bro. I don't even have to be here, dude. I don't even have to fucking be here, bro. You're lucky I bothered to turn on the fucking stream. So you'll take whatever fucking shit I'm talking about. It literally doesn't matter to me, bro. I could not stream. I could stream. I could fucking watch paint dry for 4 hours. It makes no fucking odds to me, dude. I don't need to be live today. So if you don't like what I'm talking about, fuck off and watch something else, bro. I could literally turn off stream right now and it'd be no skin off my fucking nose. So I don't know why people keep fucking moaning, bro. I'll do whatever I want on a fucking Monday or Tuesday or any day. Bro, that's the great thing now. That's the thing you people don't understand, right? I can do whatever the fuck I want at any point, anytime, anywhere. I can stream about, you know, the fucking tax situation in Timbuktu if I want to. It doesn't make any fucking difference to me anymore, bro. I don't have to sweat lord it out talking about whatever. I could talk about anything, bro. I could cover anything. I can watch anything. And it makes no fucking difference to me whatsoever, bro. It makes no fucking difference, bro. So this complaining and moaning that people do is totally futile. And if you don't like what I'm doing, the best thing you can do is stop watching. Because the one thing that would change it is if my viewership dropped to nothing. Then I'd have to do something different, wouldn't I? I'd have to do something different. So all this whining and complaining is just a waste of everyone's fucking time, bro. It's a waste of everyone's time. I do have a schedule. Wednesday through to Sunday. I do have a schedule. Well, it's not that I'm a big shot. It's just really stupid that people just moan about what I'm talking about rather than just watching something else because it's not going to change what I do. There's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me cover this or cover that or not cover this or not cover that. It is an impossible task. It's an impossible fucking task, bro. Especially today when I don't even need to be live and I'm just here for fucking the hell of it, bro. Oh my God, dude.
Is that if you don't have property, you should probably try and get property. Just please be aware that there's like a huge number of people, especially young people out there, for whom that's just not a possibility. So yeah, have a bit of awareness that if you do have money saved up, even though things might be difficult for you, there are other people out there that don't have money saved up and things are more difficult for them. When I talk about changing the system to make it fairer for everyone, that's going to benefit you, but it's also going to benefit those people who have less. And you know, I'm super aware of the people out there might be watching that don't have that kind of money as well. So what you can do really is super different depending on where you are, you know. I'm not going to patronize people who are struggling to get by every day by telling them that there's much they can do. The truth is...
Bro, dude. Okay. I completely misread what this video was going to be. Okay. But this guy is basically saying just give up. He's basically saying just give up, dude. What the fuck, man? I totally misunderstood what this was going to be. Totally misunderstood what it was going to be. And it is just more poverty, fetishism, slop.
Those people are already doing everything they can, right? If you're struggling to pay the bills, you just got to keep struggling. Like, you're not going to make money from investing. And if you've only got a few £1,000s that you desperately need, please don't be dragged into get-rich-quick schemes you might see on the internet, like Bitcoin, like big bubbles in certain stocks like GameStop.
Dude, it's like, okay, so you're saying get-rich-quick schemes are bad. That's good. That's true. Yes. But then you're also saying, like, there's no fucking hope, forget about it if you've got, you know, is there not a middle ground that you could strike? Is there not some sort of middle ground you could reach? Maybe there's something you can do. It's like there's get-rich-quick schemes, don't get scammed by that. But if you don't have any money, it's pointless anyway. Give to my Patreon. Give generously to my Patreon. Give generously to my Patreon, and then maybe we'll get a wealth tax.
Like Tesla, you might have seen people make money off of them. Of course, it's possible. But the truth is, if you don't have a lot of money to risk, you shouldn't be getting involved, because those things can drop 80%, 90%. We've seen it happen in the past, and you could lose everything you put in.
4 years ago, if you put 2K in Bitcoin, the last bad financial decision that I made, do you want to know what it is? It was a few years ago. Putting a few £100 into crypto. And do you know why it happened? Do you know why it happened? It's because someone wanted to donate crypto to me, and they donated 70 odd. What's the token called? 70 odd of these tokens, right? And then I thought, oh, I've heard about crypto. Put a bit of money in it. Put a little bit of money in it. I didn't put much in it. It was, years ago when I didn't have much spare. And I was putting a lot away already. Basically, any excess I was putting away in a savings account, like what do you call it, an ISA. So any kind of spare that I had, it was just ISA. But I thought, you know what, fuck it. I've got these tokens now. I've opened up this Coinbase thing. I might as well put a bit of money in there. And there were these free cryptos that you could get as well if you did these puzzles or some shit. So I ended up with it was probably worth, I can't remember how much I put in, but it was worth like probably £400 or £500 or something like that. Okay. And then I bought some Shiba Inu tokens for £50. And it went up. The Shiba Inu propped up the value of my portfolio, and that shot up to like £400. But I thought, fuck it, I'll keep hold of this. Maybe it's going to go further. Who knows? Without understanding the dynamics of it, I thought, fuck it, might as well keep it. It's only £50, isn't it? And now, diamond hands, exactly. And to be honest with you, if I'd have sold then, it wouldn't have made any significant difference, but it would have been a bit up on that, right? And now the total portfolio value is like £250 or something like that. So yes, buying crypto is the last bad financial decision that I made. So it's just funny when I see people mention it, I'm like, nah, crypto's stupid, man. Crypto's stupid. Unless you're willing to do day trading and have got a good awareness of the fluctuations or some insights, it's fucking pointless, dude. Total waste of time. Total fucking waste of time. But the good news is I only put a little tiny sliver in of something just to see what happened. And it turned out it was bad. It was literally the equivalent of gambling it. It's actually the last bad financial decision that I made. And it's the last time I gambled as well. So that's good. That's a positive. The last bad decision you made was door dashing a Starbucks. Actually, I didn't door dash a Starbucks. I did door dash some groceries though, because my son is round. Wasn't feeling well, so he couldn't go to school. But other than that, we're good.
Yeah. So if you're struggling to get by, the main thing you need to do is encourage people to support greater taxation of the rich, because that is the only way that's going to really help the poorest people in our society. If you're lucky enough to have saved up a bit more money.
Okay, yeah, I was too. Okay, so he's been doing this grift for years. They've got a big pie and you don't. We just need to get their pie and then you'll be fine. Wait for us to get the pie.
20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 pounds. I would say your first priority should always be to get property. And this goes back to things I've been talking a lot about in my videos, right? So I've mentioned in my other videos about COVID that there's been a huge amount of money printing. That's going to devalue money. Devaluation of money is kind of a complicated concept, right? Because if you devalue money, we normally think of the price of whatever devalued things going down, but what is the price of money, right? The price of money can't go down. £1 is £1. But if money itself devalues, what we will see is the price of everything else going up. And in particular, because the people who are benefiting from COVID are largely richer people who tend to buy assets, I expect to see the price of assets like property, like stocks and shares, like gold, go up very quickly, whereas wages probably won't go up. Obviously, that's not good news for most ordinary people, but it's also not good news for people who...
Well, was he right? I'm pretty sure that in the UK, house prices have gone down over the past decade, I think. Assets have increased in price, but again, that's not necessarily because of his kind of economic theory on this. It just felt like he was chucking shit out and just randomly saying a bunch of shit.
You have their savings in cash. So how do you avoid that? The main thing I would say is really avoid keeping large amounts of savings in cash. I know that we're conditioned to think that keeping your money in cash is the safest thing to do. But when you're in a climate like we're in now, where prices of assets are going up very quickly, including property, if you're sitting on £50,000 in cash and the house price doubles, which unfortunately it could do, especially here in London or even other parts of the country, that is really not a good situation for you, right? So I would really encourage, if at all possible, as soon as possible, get yourself some property because that gives you the security that you can. That might involve trying to get together as a family, borrow money from your parents.
Dude, why would you suggest property, which is in some cases prohibitive to people, why would you not just suggest putting a bit of money into some sort of fund or something, dude? Why is property the first thing on the agenda? And not just take what you can and stick it in this?
It's important for people from poor backgrounds to realise the reason why young people get property is almost...
Worth more. Appreciates better. Yeah, but if it's prohibitively expensive, what does that matter? Because you're going to need to have at least a 5% deposit, right? And some people do not have the ability to even get a 5% deposit. And then you're going to be saving for a 5%. Like, why not do something a bit more manageable and a bit more achievable as your first point of recommendation? Why is property the first thing that he's recommending? And also, dude, property, it's not even necessarily the best thing to like invest in. If you can afford to get a house and live in it, you know, sure. But, you know, because then you've got an asset that you're paying off rather than paying rent to a landlord. But if you can't even afford a deposit, then why would you even talk about property? Why not do something more achievable for most people?
Almost always because their parents...
Yes, I've read about this, yeah. In America, through the FHA loans, you only need 2.5% down payment. Yes, there are actual federal schemes that enable people to get on the property ladder with quite a minimal, you know, deposit. And I think there's something in the UK, was it a lifetime ISA? No, is that it? Where basically you put in £3,000 and the government tops it up with another 1,000, 25% or some shit. You say 4,000, you get 25%, and that's towards your first property. But I don't know, man. It's like, just seems silly that property is the first point of call when that is probably not accessible for a lot of people.
Parents give them money. And this is the thing I want to let people know, because I know that people from my sort of background, poorer backgrounds, they see other people buying property and they don't understand how it's possible, because it's almost impossible.
Yeah, recommending property is an easy copper. Everyone thinks home is an appreciating asset, completely forgetting about upkeep that needs to be done. Well, the thing is like, yeah, if you're buying, I mean, obviously I'm biased having just bought a house, but you know, if you're buying a house and living in it, giving money to a mortgage provider to own the property is generally better long term than paying a fucking landlord. But then there's some people where actually having cash flow, rent that's lower than a mortgage, which is possible in, you know, depending on your living circumstances, and being able to have cash flow to do something else with, that could potentially work for you, rather than thinking about saving for a property, particularly if it's going to take you years to get to a point where you've got a deposit. So, yeah, I don't know, it just feels like it's like people think, oh, property, but it's not necessarily the right move in 2026 or 2021, especially if you're not in a position to save up to get a deposit for a house or something, you know?
If you're in London, even if you're on like a high salary, like 40, 50, 60 grand, it's impossible to save up that deposit. It takes years and years and years and years. But people from richer families are getting that money from their parents. So, you know, it's an unfair system. But if you're from a poor family, the most important thing is to keep hold of property that you have and to try and get property for younger people. That's going to be the real challenge going forward, especially with property prices increasing as quickly as they are. Now, I know that's not super positive advice for a lot of people to hear, because a lot of people, they simply can't buy property. And you know, this is why I do the work that I do, because you know, I predicted a year ago that property prices were going to go up, despite the worst economic crash in, you know, about 100 years. That's insane, but it's happened, all right? We've had the worst economic crash in 100 years and property prices have gone up. That's because of the way that governments have dealt with the crisis, which is to print money and give it to rich people. The people that get hurt from that are poor families that don't own property, but also ordinary families. I want to send a message out to ordinary families that own property that might think they're winning when house prices go up. So the older members of those families that own the houses, they might think they're making money when house prices go up, but they need to realize the only way to make that money is to sell the house. And if you sell your house, then your kids won't have houses. And if house prices double, then your kids won't be able to get houses with their own money. So the end result of this massive increase in house prices is basically more and more ordinary families are going to lose their houses over the long run. So I would like to have a message for older people that own property that might be excited when house prices go up, is think about how this is going to affect your kids and your grandkids. The end result is basically going to be that most people in this country will not own property in 20, 30, 40 years time. And the amount of people who own property is going to become less and less and less and less and less. And that's going to make life worse for most people. So look, I see it in the families around me, right? My friends who are from richer backgrounds, their parents give them 100 grand. They remortgage the house, give them 100 grand, and the kids buy property.
Yeah, actually, dude. Why has he got like multiple camera angles for this, dude? Why has he got like multiple cutting camera angles for him just fucking talking?
Friends who are from poorer backgrounds, I've got friends who are from...
That's where the Patreon money's going, on multiple cameras. It's completely unnecessarily cutting to different shots.
Families, their mums have to sell the house to get by, and the kids get nothing. So what we are seeing now, with this massive increase in house prices, don't get excited about it. Because what it is...
Yeah, well, the thing... I mean, I'm pretty sure that... like, I think there's a criticism of, what is it, the stamp duty thing. Because you have to pay a higher rate of stamp duty buying like a further property, and that's prohibitive to people that want to sell. They don't want to give money to the tax man. They want to hand it over to the kids, and then it's an investment for them. What did it say? Parents should sell the house. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But no, dude. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed because I thought this was going to be, you know, I thought he was going to do a whole thing where it's like, yeah, this is investment, and he actually gave normal advice, and it didn't work out. But it does seem like this is just the early iteration of his wealth tax thing that's become popular now. He's speaking to like lefties that love him now. Obviously, he's grown a massive like lefty following off the back of his wealth tax shit. That's who he's talking to, his future audience that now fucking love him.
What it's causing is a divergence, basically, where if you've got 10 properties, of course, that's great. You've probably got a stock portfolio as well.
Yes, green voters, exactly. People that would vote green because they think that if you just tax the wealthy, it's going to fix all the problems in society.
Up 10 times. But if you have no property, your family's in big trouble. It don't bring me no joy to say that, but if you have one property, probably also your kids and your grandkids will become unable to own property in the future. So really, if we want to stop that as a group, we have to do something about the inequality.
Yeah,
that's why I say we have to tax the super rich. It's the only way to do it. But as an individual, like I say, I get asked what can you do with your money. The main thing is protect your property, and if you can, buy property. If you're young, if you can, buy property. And if you're older, help your kids buy property. Yeah, you know, that's not a positive message, but...
Bro. What? Dude, that's no... I saw that... Oh, dude, I saw this stat on Twitter to do with, I think, stock market investment, and it was talking about how in the UK, there's only 13% of money or some shit that's invested in the stock market. And in America, it's like a much higher percentage. The argument being, and this is why Labour have changed the rules to the ISA, the tax-free savings thing. They reduced cash ISAs down to 12,000, but they're keeping stocks and shares ISAs at 20,000. It's because they want to try and promote more people to invest in the stock market. And this is exactly the kind of message that Gary should be pushing as a former trader is, you know, take what you can and stuff it
Okay,
into
that's
a
wonderful.
stocks and shares
But how
ISA.
do I make money off depressed people?
Okay, since you insist on arguing with this tard, here are some questions. Is it harder to make your own pie today than 50 years ago? What happened to the market? Is it more consolidated? What labor is productive and
It's that
creates
Goy Walker
value?
again.
Also Genie, HHI and C5.
Thank you. Thank you for the 333. Thank you.
It's not
I'll
positive
be asking none of those questions, but I appreciate the money nonetheless.
time if we don't fix the economic system. But yeah, if you are unable to buy property now, which I understand like a lot of young people are, and you're worried about the deposit you've saved up being devalued, there are sensible things you can do. Don't keep it all in.
Dude, where I'm from, we have 25% tax on all stock profits over €100. Well, that's the thing about the UK, is every single person, regardless of how much money you've got, whether you've got £0 or bajillion pounds, you can put away up to £20,000 a year in a stocks and shares ISA, and every aspect and facet of it is tax-free. Every single facet of it, there's no capital gains, there's no dividend tax, nothing. So you can basically set up a account with one of the providers, start tucking money away in there, and obviously over time it builds up, and you don't pay tax on anything that's in there any point ever, even, you know, in years to come. And that's something that a lot of finance guys will recommend, because it's like, you know, why wouldn't you? That's a crazy good deal, even if you could only afford to put in a little bit each year. But Gary's talking about investing in property.
Cash, invest in stocks and shares, invest in gold. I've got a lot of money invested in gold, I also have some invested in stocks and shares. Stocks tend to do well if the economy is good. So if you're an economic optimist, you might want to buy more stocks. Gold tends to do better when the economy is bad. So if you're an economic pessimist, you might want to buy more gold. I've gone more gold. If you buy a mixture of both, then you will probably be a bit more secure whichever way it goes.
Wait, what? Did he say invest in gold?
Stocks tend to do well if the economy is good. So if you're an economic optimist, you might want to buy more stocks. Gold tends to do better when the economy is bad. So if you're an economic pessimist, you might want to buy more gold.
He was right. No, but my understanding is that the broad growth of the stock market, if you invest broadly and not just pick individual stocks, generally will be consistent and generally outpace other things. I don't know about the gold price. I used to sell gold coins, obviously, but I don't know about the gold price. It did go up tremendously. I don't know where that aligns to this date and when that happened. But I don't know, man. I don't know if gold's really it. But no, you buy. But that's the point. Is you just build over time. You don't even look at it, because most people do not have the fucking interest or the knowledge or whatever to go and look at individual stocks. It's like a fucking hassle, isn't it? But if you just do a kind of set it and forget it type minimal thing over time, it grows. You know. I'm fighting demons on the toilet. Thank you for that.
I've gone more gold. If you buy a mixture of both, then you will probably be a bit more secure whichever way it goes. The best way to do that for an ordinary person is to open a stocks and shares ISA. That's if you're here in the UK.
Hey, let's
go! You can put £20,000 into that a year.
Yes!
You can just buy normal gold funds or global stock tracker funds. I recommend buying tracker funds that buy a basket of stocks rather than individual stocks because they're less risky. You can only put £20,000 a year into an ISA, but if you have more, you can just get what's called a general investment account. There's plenty of providers online. I use Free Trade, I use Hargreaves and Land.
Dude, but that is like one of the no-brainers of the UK is doing stuff like that. So he is saying it. He is saying it after a bunch of bullshit. But he is saying it. That's good. That's a good thing. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. I thought that was going to be more front-loaded and less of the wealth tax stuff. But he did say it.
But there's plenty of providers that will give you ISAs, that's independent savings accounts. They have some tax advantages. And if you have more money, general investment accounts, GIAs. But yeah, if you have money saved up, you're worried about it being devalued, buy stocks, buy gold, don't leave it in cash. Obviously keep some cash. And I have to add to that, like, whenever I give advice like this, every single time you buy an asset, gold, stocks, anything, there's risk involved. I think they're going to go up in general because cash is being devalued.
Dude, yeah, so he gives actual advice during the last 10% of the video, i.e. when most people click off. This guy's a psyop.
But that's no guarantee. Be prepared when you put the money in. The value fluctuates day to day. It could go up, it could go down. I think you're more secure holding stocks and gold over the long term than cash. But
yes, yes. Why did he say all the other shit when he's got the right take here, bro? So it's you're poor, you're going to die poor, die poor, die poor. Everyone clicks off. By the way, there's £20,000 tax-free. You can invest in the stocks and shares ISA. And if you do that, you'll be laughing. right at the end of the video. Right at the end of the video. It's crazy.
yeah, there's no guarantee. And when you buy things, there's risk involved. Yeah, what, have you got any questions on that?
Bro, why did he leave that at the end? Why did he have that at the end, bro? That's crazy, man. I'll be honest, I was expecting it to be more of a, you know... I was expecting it to be more bullshit. As in, like, he was going to do, you know, hey guys, here's a genuine investment advice type thing. Only to then later change to the wealth tax. But it looks like the wealth tax thing was a constant. But at least here, he has some aspect of giving advice that's actually good. But it's stuffed into the end of the video after everything else. What do the comments say? Well, I think that there's something here in this, in that he's obviously putting the feelers out or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know this guy's history and background and, you know, all of the history of what he said about stuff. But it's almost like he's putting feelers out. Like, does he see an angle with which he can push his channel with this wealth tax slop? And so he's putting it in there whilst having a bit of it extra at the end. I don't know, man. Do you see what I'm getting at? Like, he's putting a little bit out there to maybe get some positive attention on the wealth tax stuff. Nice. I spent 15 minutes so I could be told I'm broke as fuck. Oh my god, dude. I really respect your honesty and integrity. More videos like yours need to be heard in the space. Cheers, man. This aged very well.
Sadly, you're raped.
What are you gonna leave this to Kaiman? Dig in and research it. You hate this guy.
Thank you for the kicks. Thank you. Research what? What do you mean? Dude, my only interest in Gary was the wealth tax stuff. And I did look into the wealth tax. And I found out about it and found out it was bollocks. But I'm not going to become a fucking economist. I'm not going to become a full economist just to fucking A-log Gary's economics. I just, you know, I had this feeling that this wealth tax stuff was bollocks. So I looked into it and was like, oh, it is a load of bollocks. But obviously I'm not, you know, going to become a full-blown economist. It's not that level. It's like the coding thing. I'll look a little bit into the coding stuff to figure it out, but I'm not going to be able to code at the end of it. But Scrimpin, thank you for the kicks nonetheless. Okay, I've got time for one more thing. Let's take a look at Piers Morgan. What did he say about this?
Piers Morgan says he needs, as part of that, to build an early relationship.
Oh, I see what you mean. Look into his past. Okay, sure. I'll look. I know there's some goodies there anyway because he bullshitted about his time at Citibank. But yes, I will look into it. Really, it's not a coup, really. I think it's broadly accepted. It got to a point. It's the untenable thing. Because Keir Starmer's position was untenable. Public perception had already shifted massively against him. His own government, his own ministers were saying, it's over, you need to fucking leave. He'd lost support across the party. So I think it was, you know, that was it. That was it, wasn't it? Because previously, Andy Burnham had tried to run in an election and he got denied because Keir Starmer had control over the National Executive Committee. And he had this control to stop that from happening. But the fact that he was allowed to run was a sign that there was this acceptance from all facets of the Labour Party that Starmer was for the cooking and Burnham was the kind of only choice realistically that could step in. It's not really a coup. It's not really a coup, really, I don't think. Oh, dude. Because that's not how our system works, bro. What is this thing? That's not how the system works. You don't vote for the Prime Minister. You vote for a local representative, and whichever party's got the most... Oh, dude, why do they do this, bro? That's not how our system works. It's so stupid to complain when the whole purpose of our system is that we don't have this... I mean, obviously, it is absurd that we've had this repetitive cycling of Prime Ministers. But no, why would that happen? Why would that fucking happen? Okay, they do have a point there. That is true. That is true. There is a lot of fucking hypocrisy. As we all know, being a hypocrite is the worst thing on the internet. And there is a lot of hypocrisy because you've got all these Labour people now that have constantly banged on about, you need to have an election if you want to change Prime Minister, that now have got a very... I mean, it's... Look at this, man. This is mental, bro. Even if you were to have a coalition, but bear in mind, this is from the start of July, I think, I'm pretty sure. You would have just above a majority if you combine both the Conservatives and Reform. And the lefty parties don't stand a chance. They're nowhere close. Like, that's mental, bro. That's mental to think. And the thing is, it would like... Well, and the other problem as well, even if you had this, a minor rebellion from either Reform or the Conservatives would mean that your policy doesn't fucking go through, right? So nothing would get done. Like, nothing would get fucking done, bro. Because it'd be constant turmoil, arguments, disagreements, shit like that, dude. So actually, assuming this is similar now as of the 20th of July, this would be a fucking mess. And it would just be a total, like, you know, nothing would go through, nothing would get done. There'd be constant bickering, constant in-party fucking fighting and shit. Because if you do like this coalition government thing, you want it to be that you've got the lion's share and there's like a few seats to get you over the edge, rather than it be this far apart. Also, the Conservatives have said that they've ruled out a alliance with Reform. But how can they get any sort of power without that alliance? It's the only chance that they've got, surely. That's probably going to change, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, they're not Labour. Why would Labour call a vote when they're going to lose power? That's not going to happen, is it? Desperate for the zogged out status quo. Yes, that's me. Definitely. This is like, dude, this really is not taking into account how raped by social media everyone is. You really think that if you just had the right message, people would go, oh yeah, all that racist slop that I see on X, I'm going to ignore that and listen to what this guy's saying. No, dude, the die is cast. That is it. In one of the podcasts, Gary says the Tesla stock grew due to Reddit. See, Margaret Thatcher and the Falklands, very successful, popular thing. I think it won the election after that. I don't think you should go to Tony Blair for what he would do in regards to geopolitical warfare shit, because that was like massively fucking unpopular, bro. So I think, you know, I don't know, man. I don't think that would have been particularly. Oh my God, they're the ninja. Stop, bro. Stop.
Do you think this is going to spark some sort of trend?
It's already a trend. I mean, look at Bitcoin. Look at Tesla. The thing is, you need to understand what is happening with regards to the coronavirus crisis. Governments all over the world.
But Tesla's stocks.
Bro, what does he mean by Bitcoin? I thought he said Bitcoin is bad, didn't he? I don't understand.
Not going up because lots of people are chatting about it on Reddit. They're going up because...
They are. I've been on this website. These guys
Is
love
that really
Tesla.
the reason behind Tesla?
I mean, listen, I'm not an expert exactly on Tesla stock, but it's a very
it's a stock we talk about a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very expensive compared to other car makers. And there is a huge... I go on this... I've been on this... You know, I trade markets and I look at this website. They love Tesla. They love Elon Musk. Oh, you know, not all of them, but if Elon Musk tweets something, that will move. You know, these guys, they look at that guy. And the fact is, you know, governments have printed lots of money.
Yeah, I think he's suggesting that Reddit is I mean, there are some, I think, aspect of Elon Musk tweeting about things and having some actual impact. But saying that Reddit is making the stock price move seems pretty retarded. This website is Wall Street Bets. What? Dude, seriously? Oh my god, dude. So he was shilling Wall Street Bets. Oh my god, bro. I think the problem is that I think as a concept, Mandelson, knowing Trump, etc., like there's nothing wrong with the idea he's going to work well with Trump. The issue is that Starmer and, you know, his government knew a lot about the background information and the Epstein stuff, and there was this security vetting issue. That should have made it a non-starter. That should have made it a non-starter. It's his knowing that, or at least should have known that, still appointed him. That's the issue. Because obviously that's information that the public couldn't possibly have known. But he did know some of it, at least, you know? Carney's doing fine. He doesn't have a massive economy behind him to bully Americans. Is Carney doing fine? I don't follow Canadian stuff at all. So is he doing well? Go on, Carl. Go on, Carney. Go on, Carl. Is that true that Margaret Thatcher never read the papers? Is that true?
You're going to hit the ground running with.
That's actually, I think what that's getting at. Fuck Margaret Thatcher, dude. She couldn't read. It's more so just don't constantly pursue the polls. Have a vision and execute that rather than worrying about the polls. And that's Starmer's whole problem, is constantly chasing left to right, left to right, left to right, you know? She was the news, very true. But yes, I think that not being... Because, you know, unpopularity is temporary if you've got a vision that you think is going to have an overall positive impact, you know? But it did just seem to be this constant... Is it really not worth celebrating somewhat that England have got the first ever third place finish in a World Cup? You know, dude, Britoids are so retarded. Englishoids are so retarded when it comes to the World Cup, bro. 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup. Yeah, in 1966, years and years ago. Years and years ago, never got second place, never got third place, right? What is this fucking all or nothing mentality, bro? Well, take what we can, bro. We've not won since 1966, and we're going to turn our nose at becoming third, where we constantly crash out in 4th place all the fucking time, or 5th place, 6th place, whatever. Holy fuck, dude. So obnoxious the way people are like, no, we didn't win. We're not going to win anytime soon, are we? I need to go in a sec. Do you know what's crazy, right? All these narratives are quite great. I've just checked. I didn't even look. Do you know I've streamed every day but one this month? Every single day I've done some sort of stream but one. July 7th. But other than that, I put my face out there every single day. Mental, isn't it? The month isn't over.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Just to nail the Gary narrative. He is not wrong about Tesla. Tesla is a meme stock, and the value is not representative of its position in the car market. But it's not because of Reddit. And everything is like that with Gary Goy. Close but wrong.
Thank you, Goywog, for the 690. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, sure. I know that Elon tweets about shit and stock prices go up, so it does have an impact. But, yeah, it's like oversimplified. It's oversimplified. But Tesla, I think, it's like SpaceX. It's not accurately representative of its value or something. Like SpaceX had this massive launch and its stock price went up, but apparently it's not worth that. Chud 6-figure Logic complaining he got paid every day for watching YouTube videos. Well, actually, I was actually worried I was going to hit the 60% tax trap because I'm self-employed. And if you're, I'm a sole trader. If you're a sole trader, every pound of profit you pay tax on. But fortunately, I didn't hit the 60% tax trap for the tax year ending 2026. I was just under it. It is criminal. It is criminal. How much money you can make doing this, honestly. It's absolutely criminal, to be honest. I was a bit like a doctor holding back. You're like a doctor gets up to close to 100k and they have to hold back because, you know, they don't want to go over the tax trap. But you know. But that being said, it's gotten even better since then. So I am setting up this limited company. This limited company thing. So yes, that's gonna be a thing. But I'm not gonna tell anyone what the name of the company is or anything, because you guys will just dox me. Or not you guys. You guys probably wouldn't. But some nutter out there will probably dox me. Rape Logic. Well, it's not going to be anything Logic, obviously, or Gok, or Chud, or anything. It's going to be you would not even be able to tell what it is of a piece of paper. But you know, obviously you got to be careful out there.
Which also goes together with the other things I listed, is essentially conservatism, because what conservatives are high in all 5 moral foundations, whereas we care about torturing babies and things like that. We think that's appalling. We care about harm, but we also care about other things. Whereas the liberal, the left-wing person, is high in the individually oriented foundations and low in the group-oriented foundations. So he's individually oriented. He's selfish, and also the evidence indicates that these liberals are mentally ill, essentially, which I'll go to in a minute. So you've got.
Bro, what, dude? Anglo Pigeon said you're mentioned. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is that you saying that that's me?
These 5 moral foundations.
Selfish and mentally ill.
And so what you would expect then, you've got this fitness factor that was under selection. And what you would expect is that when the selection collapses and there is a massive build-up of mutation, then what you would get is a movement away from that fitness factor, a movement away from what we were selecting strongly for. And you would expect those that evidently...
Anyway, the reason I was talking about this day off thing is because I am not streaming the tool tomorrow. I do actually just have like a load of shit. There's like, I need to book this thing and blah, blah, blah. It's just a load of stuff I need to do. And I'm just not going to do it if I'm sat here streaming. So I do need to do some things. You know, so I'm definitely not streaming tomorrow. And I'm saying that, you know, I didn't realise I'd streamed every day but one so far this month. And there's been some days that are haphazard, but I've still put a stream in at least. And also, I'm not saying that to be like, oh, don't I work really fucking hard. It's not that angle. It's more so just, oh shit, I didn't realise I've actually streamed every day. No wonder there's this list of things that I need to do. I need to do those things. Gary was right about you. Quiet quitting. Also, dude, honestly, I mean, fuck me, dude. I need some stuff to build up for Wednesday as well. Let me just check the streamer charts as well. Streamer charts. Also, the other thing as well is there probably will be a reduction because I do stream less on a daily basis now. Because I used to stream on Kick for 3 hours and then I do like an 8-hour stream, which is like 11 hours. But now I tend to do kind of 8 to 10 hours a day. So there is probably a little bit of a reduction there. Dude, honestly, I know I make it look effortless and easy, but finding stuff to talk about for fucking 11 to 12 hours a day is pretty tough sometimes, man. Oh, dude, raped by those stupid shitter streams. 181. Hey, 181. Why not 20? Dude, 24-hour streams. Dude, 24-hour streams are possible if like you're just playing a game or something, dude. But I like to talk. I like to say things. When I've been silent for... Dude, also, I'm silent for a few minutes and I'm like, fucking hell, I need to say something soon because this is turning into just fucking dead air stream. But then you guys are like, react harder. So it's not even the personal thing. You guys are then chucking tomatoes at me to react more. Oh, dude. I can't escape it. So yes, guys, I will not be doing any streams tomorrow, but I will be back on Wednesday. And Wednesday, there's nothing on. Thursday, I've got something on. Thursday is the cleaning thing, I think. Wait, what's the date today? Dude, fucking hell, I'm losing track of time, bro. I'm losing track of time, dude. Let me check the calendar. Not that I've got anything in there, just for the dates. Just for the dates, honestly. Just for the dates. Oh my god, dude, I can't see. Oh no, wait, hang on a sec. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So sorry, Wednesday, Thursday, I think there's nothing. Friday, I think I've got that cleaning thing that a whole house clean thing that I mentioned. And then from there, we should be back to normal schedule. And the only thing next month that I've got is going, it's summer holiday, is going away with my kids for a week, traveling with them for a week. So that's the only thing next month that is going to be a definitive thing. Oh, we're getting there though. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. No, I've not got a beard. I need to do that. I do need to. My beard looks ridiculous. I look homeless. I need to get that sorted. I do need to get that sorted. Oh, by the way, guys, the fly. Oh, dude, did I tell you about the fly thing? Quick, I've got time to tell you about the fly thing. The flies have been bested. The flies have been defeated. Okay, do you know what it was? Right? So I thought that this bin that I had, I need to empty. I emptied the bin and thought that's where the flies were, but the flies kept coming and I couldn't figure it out, right? What I didn't realise, so yesterday I had to clear out this room because the floorboards are getting sanded down. And I thought there was this black bin bag, and I thought because it was amongst all of the, you know, building waste, I thought it was like a bag of building waste. And so I didn't think anything of it, you know, I just thought it's like, you know, dust and some tiles and shit like that in there, right? So I didn't, and obviously I haven't been in the room that much because it's mainly a storage room, you know, for all the shit while stuff's getting sorted. But because of the floor getting sanded, I had to clear it out last night, right? Okay. So in doing so, I went up to this black bin bag and there was this like pungent odor. This pungent odor. I was like, what the fuck is that? That's where the flies were coming from because someone, one of the tradespeople presumably, had put in something that was some food stuff in this bag of building waste. And the flies were in there, bro. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck, dude? So I tied it up, took it out, threw it away. No more flies. The flies have gone. The flies have gone, dude. The flies have gone. Isn't that crazy? So they were clearly all fucking manifesting out of this bin bag that had some shit in or something. I don't know, dude. And now I've hoovered up the last of them and it's sorted now. The flies have gone. No more flies. And I put it in the back because the bins get collected anyway. So I put the bins up and now I'm scared. Now I'm scared to open up the bin because I'm worried there might just be this big bunch of flies that come out of it. I'm like, just going to keep that closed. How did I miss this? Well, I know it sounds gross, but it honestly isn't gross. It's genuinely that room is not one that I go in that much because, you know, obviously it's for building. And it's only when I went to clear it that I realised where it was coming from finally. Because I thought it was like had bit dust and stuff in. I didn't think it had any food waste in, but someone must have chucked a sandwich in there or something. And obviously that's what's caused this problem. It was in the east wing. That's the issue. It was in the east wing of the property, so I didn't see it, unfortunately. But no, I don't know if you've ever had this, where it's just basically like a construction room, where all the construction stuff is in. So there's no reason to go in there because it's like, until I had to clear it out for today, there was no reason to go in there. And I just presumed it was painting and decorating mess and shit. And turns out it wasn't. And some fucking wretch took the sandwich in there or something. Anyway, I do need to go. I've got to do the school run and other stuff. And I'm going to see what the floor looks like. Hopefully it's going to be looking great and the flies are no more. But guys, thanks for the support. I do appreciate it. Thanks for watching today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on Wednesday. We're going to be doing whatever's going on. It's going to be great. But tomorrow, no stream. Definitely no stream. Okay? Not even attempting of a stream because I do need to fucking do some other stuff. Okay? No stream tomorrow. But definitely Wednesday we'll be back. Okay? Thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Is anyone live that I can raid now? Unfortunately not. Not that I can see. Thank you very much. Be good. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. And I'll hopefully see you all very soon. Good luck. Godspeed. And goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.